So here we are. Here we are in the midst of uncertain times, in the midst of the unknown. In the midst of self-isolation, social distancing. So here we are in the midst of this strangeness, and whatever is happening or not happening on the surface, on a deeper level, we are being offered an immense opportunity to deepen into the knowing that is already alive in you, that is already alive in us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here gathering in this way. And every human being is being offered this opportunity. It's an immense opportunity to live from the deepest knowing, a knowing that is ever present, but often covered over by the flapping around on the surface of the ego mind, or the acquisitive mind, or the mind that seeks certainty, the mind that seeks security, the mind that seeks comfort, and the mind that essentially operates from a divided state. So for those of us who have been on a spiritual path, here is the opportunity for that division between spirituality and the very ordinary, everyday human experience, the human living, to collapse into one. Here is our opportunity for a living satsang, not just for these few hours that we will meet together over the next couple of days, although this is an opportunity for a deeper inquiry and a deeper reflection. But always, from now on, there's no going back. Life is the satsang. Life is the satsang. Life is the guru. Here we are, whatever your circumstances, whatever your background, whatever you are challenged by or struggling with in these new conditions, whether it be loneliness or whether it be financial hardship, or whether it be uncertainty about the future, whether it be having to deal with schooling children at home, or whatever it might be. Whatever your circumstances, whatever your background, or whatever your physical condition, we are all being given the opportunity to live from a deeper place. In other words, every interaction that we have with our ongoing experience is an opportunity to be conscious, to be aware of where or to what we are giving our allegiance. Are we giving our allegiance to the surface mind that clings to the need for certainty, the need for security, the need for safety, the need to know how the future will be, the need to know that I will be safe in the future, and so on and so on? Or can we meet life from the unknown? The unknown doesn't mean that we live with our heads buried in the sand. It means that we are not lost in the surface storm, of our own minds, then projected outwards onto the world. We think it's the world that's doing this to us, but it's essentially uh, the other way around. Flip it around. It's the mind that is seeing the storm. And in seeing the storm, it panics. In seeing the storm, it tries to control its experience, or it tries to control the future. And so here is the opportunity to see life, to operate from a much deeper dimension. And that deeper dimension has no division in it, and it has no knowing in the same way that the mind has. It has no narrative that divides its experience, that divides the world, that divides into opinion, that divides into right and wrong, good and bad. And there is such a temptation now to do that. Yeah? There's such a temptation to take sides and to find evidence on this side and then to find evidence on that side. And this creates more storminess on the surface. So here is the opportunity for life to be the satsang. It's an intensification, an amplification, a deep invitation in the midst of adversity, in the midst of challenge, in the midst of however that's manifesting for you personally and seemingly collectively. It's here to offer us this opportunity. It's as if we're standing on at a bifurcation point, where we can fall back into a deeper unconsciousness, the unconsciousness of fear, the unconsciousness of mass hypnosis, which is what fear essentially is, or we can, if you like, evolve out of that into our true nature. So it's an immense opportunity. It's an enforced awakening time, an enforced awakening where and I've been saying this for a really long time, true spirituality or true awakening is not waiting for that moment in your spiritual practice where you suddenly get it, where you're suddenly enlightened or suddenly blessed. Not waiting. This is it. It's no longer a luxury. It's no longer a hobby. It's no longer a practice. It's a living opportunity. It's a living practice, if you like. Here we are. So the inquiry really is to look within and to be very honest with oneself as to what are you giving your allegiance to? What are you devoted to? Are you giving your allegiance to the surface waves of mind, the surface waves of what you perceive? And perception is never really clear. It's always clouded by our inherited or background beliefs and needs and expectations and hopes and fears. Can we really see clearly now? Because it's only from that place that you can live a life of clarity and love and true presence and true power. And from that place, we can respond and not react. So this is a collective and individual opportunity for this. How wonderful. How wonderful. Yeah. How wonderful. Jesus said the world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever. Yeah? The world and its desires, in other words, your inner world, well, the outer world too, they're one and the same, but the inner world of your desires, your dreams, your hopes, your needs, yeah, and when I say this again, I mean the need to stay in our comfort zone, the need to 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 for the separate self to to believe itself to be safe, to hold on to this identity of me and my role, who I think I am, and all the narratives that wrap themselves around or embed themselves in that role of who I think I am, the self-identity, yeah, that world is falling apart. That world is falling apart. Yeah, it seems as if it's the outer world that's falling apart, but it's both the outer world and the inner world. The inner world is the one that we need to focus on. The inner world is falling apart. How wonderful. What an immense opportunity. The inner world of the structures that uphold the self-identity of me as competent, me as whatever you think you are, the role that you have in life, me as successful, me as comfortable, uh, me as lucky, me as spiritual. Yeah, it's all this that is beginning to crumble. It has to crumble. It has to crumble, because without that crumbling, nothing in some ways new, but also not new, it's eternal. Yeah, he who does the will of God lives forever. In other words, he who operates, or she who operates from a deeper dimension of being, which is beyond role, beyond self, beyond me, beyond my need for safety or comfort or success or specialness or worthiness. Yeah, he or she who operates from openness, an openness that isn't to do with the surface. Yeah, very often this is a question. Doesn't openness mean that I'm vulnerable to danger? I don't mean openness on on the level of personhood. Yeah, you have to have healthy boundaries to be able to say yes and no appropriately. I'm talking about the openness that you are in your depth, the eternal. The one who does the will of God lives forever. In other words, the knowing, the deepest knowing of your eternal nature, your immortal nature, your essential nature, that which cannot be harmed or endangered or abused or controlled by the vicissitudes of life, by the world which comes and goes, whether it be the circumstances of life, circumstances of world events, nor the coming and going of thoughts. That which you truly are, if we can live from that, and here is the opportunity to live from that, if we can live from that deepest knowing, not as a belief system that we cover over other belief systems that are in opposition to it, yeah, not as a cover up, not as a band-aid, but as a true knowing, because we have either glimpsed that through our meditation practice, or we have glimpsed that through some kind of opening or awakening. Yeah, if we have touched that or if we just know it somewhere instinctively because that's what we are born as, that's what we essentially are, then now is the time to truly live it, to truly move from that, to truly listen to that openness, listen from that openness, yeah, which means turning our devotion towards that, turning our allegiance to that, so that when the surface waves, the surface flapping around, pulls us, yeah, that is our opportunity, not to control that or try to stop it, but to gently turn towards that which we know to be more true, more essential, more present, more intimate, and more eternal than that.